course. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. And don't go away. We got more news and more exciting things going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers.
Here we go, guys. That was a great interview
it.
with the supervisor, Moave County Supervisor Hill the Angels. As I said, this is exactly the purpose of the show. Try to, first of all, learn from each other, because sometimes, we don't know everything. And more important, having a communication is pretty good, especially when we have a civil communication. Because at the end of the day, as I said, we have differences of opinions. And for me, this is exactly one of the reasons why I want to be on the air. I don't mind, of course, to have people that we agree, that's great. But at the end of the day, kind of boring after a while. I like to be challenged. I like to challenge myself. And I love when I'm proven wrong, believe it or not. Now, on Facebook, and I like to use Facebook for this purpose. A few days ago, I brought up a topic about Masonic, Freemasons, Freemasons. And the topic specifically was, there is a program called Masonic Child Identification Program called CHIP, CHIP. That is a charitable initiative, I'm just reading this from Wikipedia, in the North American Masonic Lodge to aid in the identification and recovery of missing children. Of course, what they say that they volunteer and they create this sort of database that they give to the parents. So they do not keep according to their record. So they give this little database with fingerprints, DNA, video, photo, all these things in case the child gets lost or get kidnapped. And I said something that I'm staying behind, on my post. I said, by the way, would you trust anybody, in this case, the Masons, to have this type of opportunity to collect this information about your child? And from there, of course, there was a lot of, left and right, people that they're Masons, people that are against the Masons. Let me tell you exactly where I'm coming from. I am against anybody. You can do whatever you want, you can believe in whatever you want until you infringe on my rights. Simple as that. That's the spirit of the show. After all, it's called Love, Guns, and Freedom. Okay, so I'm not here to tell you, preach you what you should do. I just tell you your rights end when mine start. That's it. So the point is, I want to learn more about Masons. I know some. I had some family members, they are Masons, and I have some information, but I like to know from you. And my two main questions are, first of all, as a Christian, I'm not here to preach you or to judge you because I'm a sinner. So you can be whatever you want. You can believe in I don't know, in the dog or whatever, in any type of God you believe. Or you can be an atheist. I have a lot of friends that don't believe in anything. That's their belief. Fine with me. So I believe in free will. So you have a chance to do whatever you want, as I said. The only thing I do not appreciate when you have a religion that you try to, let's say, oppress me or you try to convert me by force. That's where I draw the line. And this is not the case of Masonry, be sure. These people, they don't even want you in, okay? You must be invited to be part of their club. So that's not the case, and that's fine. So as a friend, if I have some friends that are Christians, I may say, by the way, you think that as a Christian, you should be able to also be part of this group. And then I bring some facts. And then if they don't want to do it, I don't care. But the main reason, the main question for me that I'm concerned is, can be a Mason with their secret oath, let's say, a danger to our foundations of our republic, where we're supposed to be within the rule of law, and we are supposed to have equal rights and equal justice. So what happens if a Mason is a judge or has a position of power like a police chief or or a sheriff, or anything that could be anyway in a public business? There is a loyalty oath. But who am I? I'm just a regular guy. So that's why I brought here on the show a real Mason. That his name is Dave, and we don't need to say where he's from. He's Dave. He's a Mason, and I'm really thankful that also he's my Facebook friend, and he can share what he knows and what he wants, and he can tell us about this organization. David, are you there?
I am.
Thank you. Nice to meet you again, and thank you for being here with me, okay? And us.
Thank you as well.
First of all, introduce yourself a little bit. I'll let you talk. When did you become a Mason? What type of Mason are you? And why you wanted to become a Mason? Go ahead.
All right. First of all, you aren't invited to become a Mason. In my particular case, I have an uncle that was a Mason, or currently is. And I actually approached him and said, hey, look, I've heard about Freemasonry. It seems like a great way to network with other guys. What can I do? And he kind of smiled and he said, all it takes is to ask. The mantra within the Masonic organization as far as recruiting is to be one, ask one.
Okay.
So he grabbed an application out of his car. I filled it out, gave it back to him. I did an interview, and then that was basically it.
Okay, so nobody forced you with a sword on your throat, okay?
Correct. No, absolutely not.
Good. That's a good start. I think that's really good because, as I said, I think that's cool. The problem that I have normally if it was some sort of a coercion, and that's not the case. And I've been sarcastic here. Of course, I knew that.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. So you wanted to be. Why did you want to become a Mason? After all, first question: are you also a Christian? Just personal thing.
Yes, absolutely, and have been my entire life. I'm actually the son of a preacher.
Okay, good. So you're a Christian, and you had this need to ask to your uncle, "I want to become a Mason." And you say something that I understand, networking. That was the main reason?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because you think it's good for business. I mean, you can know more people. I mean, that was pretty much, tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure, yeah. In any organization, you're able to network, be it Eagle Scouts, be it an Elks Lodge, a Moose Lodge.
Okay.
Even in my case, being a part of AMVETS and VFW.
Okay.
You network with like-minded individuals. The same thing with Patriot Radio Network, the same thing with Facebook. Whatever your given preferences is, you can network with that type of people.
Okay. How many years you've been a Mason so far?
About 5.5 years.
Okay. Can I ask you what type of level did you reach? I know there are different, hierarchies and levels. What is your level?
Sure. And I can not only do that, but kind of fix some misconceptions as far as levels.
That's why I have you here. Go ahead.
In Scottish Rite, I'm a 32nd degree Mason.
Wow.
In York Rite, I'm a Knight Templar.
Wow. So you're pretty up there. How long did it take you? 5.5 years. But how did you graduate? I mean, at the beginning it was kind of slow. How does it work, this?
So let me use the analogy of a high school.
Yes.
If you have heard about Masons, you will know that the first 3 degrees are technically the highest level Mason.
Yes.
The highest level Mason is not a 32nd degree. It's a Master Mason, which is the 3rd degree.
Yes.
The reason I say that, and the easiest way to understand it, is if you use the analogy of a high school. You have freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. Now, within high school, you can be the captain of the football team. You can be the drum major in the marching band. You can be the soloist in choir. But at the end of the day, you're still a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
I understand. Okay.
So within Freemasonry, the highest rank is the 3rd degree, which is a Master Mason.
Okay.
Now, once you receive the Master Mason degree, then you can, following my analogy, you can join the choir. You can join the football team. Once you have that foundation, then you can branch out. You can become a Shriner. All of these different areas open up to you depending upon your personal preference. The thing that attracted me most to the York Rite and the Knight Templar is because that is a Christian organization that is based upon Jesus Christ.
Okay. Now, question is, and as I said, I don't like to even think that people think about me that I'm trying to judge others, because for me, you could believe in zero or nothing or whatever. I don't care. It's not my business to judge. Okay. I'm a sinner myself. And the only thing I would say, if you were trying with your belief to endanger others. Besides that, I have no right to judge you. That's my point. I want to be sure it's clear. But since you said that, you're a Christian, I have just a simple question. Also, we are Facebook friends. I like to talk to you. We have a lot of things we agree, and I think it's great. And I consider like a friend, even I never met you. You volunteer yourself to be with me and tell me about some information. I think I appreciate it. Now, How do you see Lucifer as a Christian? Is something good or something bad? Do you believe that Lucifer could be some sort of, let's say, model for us as Christians?
Absolutely not. I believe he's the serpent in Genesis, and he's the dragon in Revelation. He is Satan.
Okay, good. I agree with that too. And as I said, the people that don't agree, that's fine. But now this is exactly the point. You should probably know the name Albert Pike. That it was probably the foundation of one of the American Masonry, 33-degree Freemason, and also is the author of the book that you should really buy. I think it's part of your foundation, especially in the Scottish Rite, Morals and Dogma. And there is a page, I think 236, something like that. But I'll tell you shortly the story, what it says, word by word. And I'm reading with my accent, of course, so forgive me. Lucifer, the light bearer. Strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. Is it he who bears the light, and with its splendors intolerable blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish soul? Doubt it not. And there is more, talking about Lucifer, Satan, and different things. And as I said, my focus is not going to be here about try to, I'm not a preacher. I don't have the religious foundation and knowledge to tell you all the scriptures. There are many scriptures, by the way, especially when you take oaths in your belief, or at least in your group, that's supposed not never be taken as a Christian. And I don't even want to start to mention the scripture because you can find out yourself. But just this book that I think is the foundation of every Mason. You will ask, who is Albert Pike? He's the guy. I mean, you can see his statue in Washington, okay, D.C. He's the foundation of Masonry. And there is much more talking about Lucifer is God. That's exactly what it says, okay? So just a little bit of, word in your ears. And then, of course, it's up to you if you want to, investigate or not. And I had a friend, by the way, bless his soul, he just died like a few months ago. He was at your level, pretty much. And he was also a Catholic. And he was also a great gun owner. He used to have a gun business, so we were pretty close. And I said, I tried to keep his name private. Mark, how can you be a Catholic and be a Mason? I said, what's the problem? I said, listen, as I said, I don't have time to tell you everything, but I gave him a book. And I can give you this book to everybody to investigate, okay? Should a Christian be a Mason? You can find this book on Amazon for $8 or $6 for Kindle. Just check it out. That's pretty much the thing I can say. And there are so many other scriptures that if you read the Bible and the New Testament, like your book, unfortunately there are some sort of inconsistency that when you are part of this organization, starting from also the different type of oaths, But my main point is this with you now, I know you're a patriot. Are you a veteran also?
I am.
Very good. So you took an oath that I took too when I became a citizen to pledge an allegiance to our Constitution and our Republic and to defend it. And that's great. Now, there are other oaths in your, in your Masonic temple that you take that they're secret, but they're also open to the public and they can see them. And they're also, for example, specifically not only oaths that can be considered of violence or at least blood, And I don't want people can find out this online. I mean, there are oaths that if you reveal any secret, may your throat be cut from side to side and many other things. I mean, my left breast torn open, my heart and vitals taken, and with my body given as a prey to the vultures to the air. I mean, serious stuff. And this is an oath, okay? So there are different degrees, different type of oaths. But what is really for me most concerning is the oath of loyalty that you have taken among other brothers. Is it true there is an oath between brother and brother to help in every way you can if your brother Mason is in distress? Please articulate.
It's not in every way. Mm-hmm. The oath specifically makes exceptions. Okay. Felonies are one of the many ones.
Okay.
So no, I would disagree. If I could real quick back up.
Go ahead, please.
The first differentiation we really need to make is the fact that Freemasonry is not a religion. Mm-hmm. You can't compare it and say, are you Baptist, Methodist, Catholic, or Freemason? It's not a religion. It's a fraternal organization, just like the National Honor Society, just like the Boy Scouts, just like any of these other things. Now, Freemasonry takes its origin back to the building of Solomon's temple.
Mm-hmm.
So there are biblical influences, but from my personal perspective,
Mm-hmm.
Freemasonry's goal is to make good men better. Now, that being said, what better book to make men better by than by the Bible, which is opened in every lodge, the very first thing. When you take an oath, it's upon that very Bible.
Okay. Just a
So
question. In your lodge, the only book that you have there is the Bible, or I heard that there are also, for example, a copy of the Quran, a copy of the other scriptures of other religions.
I have never once seen anything other than a Holy Bible.
Okay, this is where you state in here in America, because of course every lodge may do different things, but I have different other masons, according also to photos of temples that were taken, that there were more than one book out there, and as I said, for me it's not even this concern, because as a Christian I keep my Christianity for myself, and honestly, whatever they want to do there is not really my concern when it comes down to religion, even if it's not a religion, as you said, okay? I'm not even arguing that part. I mean, I know pastors and preachers may think differently, but that's not my concern. My concern is the oath of allegiance to other. By the way, I can read it. Do you have it? Do you remember the oath of allegiance to your brothers?
Vaguely, it's been a while since I've done degree work.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to read it.
Yeah, I will get it. But, this is my point. Because, for example, in England, just recently, you can Google it, that England, after all, is one of the pilasters of, Masonry around the world, there was a network, and there is a network of judges, lawyers, police chiefs, and it's been found and proven. It's also almost in mainstream media now, that they were caught somehow, unfortunately, not being fair to the judicial system, because their oath of allegiance and to help each other always brought them above the rest of the others. That's the point. Now, that's the main concern that I have, because let's say tomorrow you are, I don't know, a cop, okay? And there is somebody that, I don't know, is making a minor infraction, nothing really serious, but let's say just crossing a stop, is supposed to stop, he didn't stop. And I know for sure, because I've seen that, not that far from where I live, that things are different. They've been given different treatments. And that's on this small scale, talking about little ticket, fine. Then I can tell you at different levels, and I'm not saying everybody's the same. I'm sure you may be a great guy and probably you're doing everything, according to your morals, and you're not going to do anything bad. But unfortunately, wherever there is power, position of power, humans may abuse it. And that's my concern, because after they have this oath, they need to, beside their crime of a felony, they may still decide. And I'll read the oath pretty soon now. I want you to be sure also that. But so that's my point, But I want you to give us information that you can give that normally could be, I don't know, ignorance from our side, that we are no Mason, misconceptions, or things that think normally people say, oh my God, look how stupid we are saying things that are not accurate. Give you the floor. Go ahead.
I would say there are quite a few. Some of the movies that have been put out that are about Freemasonry,
Yes.
we have joked about within our internal lodge. And I myself have brought up the question to the master of the lodge and said, why does Freemasonry allow all of these conspiracy theories and all of these myths to be perpetuated? And he said, to be honest with you, those are our greatest recruiting tools. If people think all of that garbage is true,
Okay.
for whatever reason, it causes our numbers to swell.
Okay. So, do you have like a fee to pay at the end of the year? So like a club, like when you do any club, golf club.
Sure, there are dues. It's $50 a year for the particular lodge that I belong to.
Okay.
And that covers everything from the electric bill to postage to things like that.
Okay, all right. Okay, so it's pretty much that. Now, you feel like as a human being, after 5.5 years in this organization, you have like benefits from business point of view, also from a human point of view. You feel enriched about knowledge or in general, spiritually. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like I said earlier, I'm also on LinkedIn, which is a business website where you can network with other people in your profession.
Okay.
It's the same thing. And just like the verse says, iron sharpeneth iron, I think it's good to get around other men, learn from them, bounce ideas off of them. Um, One thing I will definitely say is the lodge is very much against political discourse. So politics are not brought up. Religion is not brought up. It's not the time and the place.
Okay. Listen, as I said, this is exactly the purpose of the show. I want people that have their opinion. My only goal is to bring both facts. I would like to invite, I know that there is a gentleman that I'm in contact that is a former Mason, 33 degree levels, and also he has a website, and also now is a, let's say, reborn Christian, and he has a different opinions about things that we are talking. For me, as I said, as a Christian, I'm not here to judge. I don't want to say anything, but my point is, let's read the oath of allegiance between brothers. That could be my only concern. And secrecy. Because, you said this, I talked to you before, there is not really a secret, because after all, we have bumper stickers, we got rings, we got, open lodge. Even, of course, you must go there by invitation. But the idea is what happens inside, the rituals, the ceremony, the oaths, that they're secrets. You also have a sword that you're never going to repeat. By perjury, you may be probably just be a lingo, what they say, but you swear in an oath that you may have your throat cut, your heart pull out, and all the stuff. So it's serious stuff. So my point is, secrecy is always something that disturbs me a little bit when it comes down to these things, especially when there are public officials connected to that. People working for the public. That's my only concern. If you're just a bunch of private people doing your stuff, it's your club. You do whatever you want. I agree with you. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
One quick comment. When you reference the penalties of violating the obligation, prior to each ritual or each level, or however you'd like to say,
yes,
before it begins, you are given a piece of paper that you have to read and sign.
Yes.
One of the things that it says is that the penalties of the degrees are ceremonial only,
yes,
and do not reflect what would actually happen.
Okay.
The real punishment if you violate it is you can be kicked out of the lodge.
Okay.
You can be put on probation, things like that. Nobody is going to saw you asunder or
I understand. No,
cut your throat or any of that
and I
garbage.
expect that. But the point, you still have to say that. Now, let me read exactly. This is exactly from Edmond Royen, Masonic Handbook, page 183. You must conceal all the crimes of your brother Masons, except murder and treason, and this only at your own option. And you should be summoned as a witness against a brother Mason. Be always sure to shield him. Okay? And he keeps going. So this part, I didn't write it. This is from Masonic Handbook, page 183 by Edmond Romain. It's kind of disturbing. That's the part that disturbs me a little bit because, except murder and treason, there is a lot of stuff before murder and treason. It's the corruption and bribery and a lot of different things. And this only at your own option. So this is what I read, and call him ignorance, but I verified the book. I also own many of these books. As I said, many family members I have, they are Masons. In Italy, it's a big, let's say, part of reality. Let's put it this way. Listen, I have 5 more seconds, and I want to have you back on if you want to. I'll give you the floor. 5 seconds, whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Very quickly, that book is not an official document from any Grand Lodge of Freemasonry. I have never heard anything like that in my life.
Good. Okay, that's your point. Excellent. Listen, David, I appreciate you. And please, let's go back for one more time. Next time, I'm going to bring you in maybe with a former Mason. Would you like that?
I would love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away. We got hour number 2. Great show about guns. You're listening.